What happens when the royal family's quietest voice suddenly takes center stage? Prince Edward, known for his reserved nature and low-profile approach to royal life, recently delivered a message about Camilla, Queen Consort, that left the entire country stunned. In a rare moment of candor, Edward's words not only reshaped public perceptions of Camilla, but also sparked intense discussions about the monarchy's future. Why did Edward, who rarely courts the spotlight, choose to speak out now? Could this be a turning point for how the royal family presents itself to the world? And what does it reveal about the evolving dynamics behind palace walls? Let's explore this in detail. Prince Edward has always been a figure of quiet intrigue in the royal family. While much of the public's attention tends to drift toward the louder, more dramatic personalities of the monarchy, Edward's steady, low-profile demeanor often goes unnoticed. That is, until he does something that demands attention. And when he recently delivered a message about Camilla, Queen Consort, it wasn't just another royal announcement. It was a moment that caught the entire country by surprise. From his earliest days in the public eye, Edward's approach to royal life has been one of calm consistency. Born in 1964, he was the youngest child of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. As the baby of the family, Edward didn't face the same pressures as his older siblings. Charles was groomed for the throne, Anne carved her path through a relentless work ethic, and Andrew became known for his share of controversies. But Edward? He quietly made his own way, often flying under the radar. In many ways, Edward's life mirrored the quieter aspects of his character. Unlike the headline-grabbing escapades of his brothers, his journey remained relatively free from scandal. It wasn't that Edward lacked ambition or drive, quite the opposite. He explored avenues that were unconventional for a royal, from dabbling in theater and television production to leaving military training early, a decision that, at the time, drew sharp criticism from both the press and his own father. Yet, through it all, Edward remained steadfast in his desire to chart his own course, even if it meant disappointing a few people along the way. This ability to tread carefully and thoughtfully through the complexities of royal life made his recent statement about Camilla all the more unexpected. For years, Camilla's role within the royal family has been a topic of debate. Her relationship with Charles, now King Charles III, was once one of the most controversial stories in modern royal history. When the two married in 2005, after years of public scrutiny, many wondered if Camilla would ever be fully accepted by the public and by the royal family itself. Over time, she worked tirelessly to rehabilitate her image, gradually earning respect as a devoted partner to Charles and an active member of the monarchy. Edward, for his part, remained publicly neutral on the matter. Known for avoiding drama, he rarely voiced opinions on the more controversial aspects of royal life. This silence made his recent comments about Camilla all the more striking. His words, delivered with Edward's characteristic calmness, reflected a level of respect and understanding that few had anticipated. The context leading up to this moment is crucial to understanding its impact. For much of their shared time in the royal family, Edward and Camilla's relationship was professional and cordial. There were no visible signs of tension, but neither were there clear indications of a particularly close bond. Camilla, entering the family with a significant amount of baggage, had to navigate her way through a minefield of public opinion and internal family dynamics. Edward, who by nature tends to keep a low profile, seemed to stay in his lane, focusing on his own responsibilities rather than becoming entangled in the broader controversies surrounding her. But Edward's recent message suggests that something shifted. Delivered at a public event honoring Camilla's role as Queen Consort, his words were not just an endorsement of her efforts, but a powerful affirmation of her place in the monarchy. He spoke not only of her unwavering support for King Charles, but also of her dedication to modernizing the monarchy's role in public life. These remarks carried weight, not only because of the subject matter, but because of who was delivering them. Edward, often the quiet observer, had stepped into the spotlight to offer his perspective, and it was a perspective that resonated deeply with those who heard it. The timing of Edward's statement was particularly significant. As King Charles continues his efforts to streamline the monarchy and redefine its purpose in the 21st century, Camilla's role as Queen Consort has become increasingly central to that mission. For Edward to publicly align himself with this vision was not only a gesture of support for Camilla, but also a sign of his own evolving role within the family. It marked a moment of unity, a rare public display of solidarity that underscored the importance of cohesion within the royal household. The impact of Edward's words rippled beyond the immediate audience. The media quickly picked up on the significance of his statement, framing it as a pivotal moment in the royal family's ongoing efforts to present a united front. Public reactions were similarly notable. While many praised Edward for his candor and thoughtfulness, others speculated about the motivations behind his remarks. Was he speaking from personal conviction, or was this a calculated move to bolster public support for Camilla during a challenging time for the monarchy? These questions lingered, but one thing was clear. Edward had succeeded in doing what he does best, quietly but effectively reshaping the narrative. His message also highlighted an important aspect of his character that often goes overlooked. While Edward may shy away from the limelight, he is not without influence. His steady, dependable presence within the royal family has allowed him to navigate its complexities with a level of grace that few can manage. And when he chooses to speak, his words carry weight precisely because they are so rare. As the public continued to digest Edward's remarks, attention turned to what they might signify for the future. Would this moment mark a turning point in the perception of Camilla? Could it pave the way for further shifts within the royal family's public image? These questions remain open, but one thing is certain. Edward's words have sparked a conversation that shows no signs of fading away. Prince Edward's life has always been one of quiet consistency, a stark contrast to the turmoil and controversies often associated with other members of the royal family. Over the years, his reserved nature and ability to avoid unnecessary drama have solidified his reputation as a dependable figure within the monarchy. But his recent statement about Camilla, Queen Consort, shifted perceptions. It wasn't just what he said that made waves, it was the rarity of such a candid moment from Edward himself. To understand the gravity of his message, it's essential to examine the dynamics between Edward and Camilla. When Camilla officially joined the royal family through her marriage to King Charles III in 2005, her presence was met with a complicated mix of acceptance and resistance. For many years, Camilla's relationship with Charles had been a point of contention, not just for the public but also within the royal family. While she gradually won over much of the British public through her steadfast dedication to her duties, her integration into the family wasn't without challenges. Edward, known for steering clear of family disputes, maintained a neutral stance throughout this period. He neither voiced strong support nor opposition, choosing instead to focus on his own responsibilities. This approach, while characteristic of Edward, also left much to interpretation. Did he quietly support Camilla from the sidelines, or was his silence an indication of indifference? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Edward's natural inclination toward diplomacy meant that he saw little benefit in wading into what was, at the time, a divisive issue. Over the years, the royal family's public appearances painted a picture of cohesion, at least on the surface. Camilla and Edward were often seen together at official engagements, sharing polite exchanges that suggested a cordial relationship. But behind the scenes, their interactions remained largely private. Unlike other family members whose relationships with Camilla were more visibly documented, Edward's connection with her remained understated, adding to the intrigue surrounding his recent comments. When Edward's words came to light, they carried an air of unexpected openness. He spoke about Camilla not just as a queen consort, but as a person who had endured significant scrutiny and emerged stronger for it. His remarks highlighted her commitment to supporting King Charles III during a pivotal time for the monarchy, as well as her efforts to modernize the royal family's image. These statements, while measured, offered rare insight into Edward's perspective and suggested a deeper respect for Camilla than many might have assumed. The timing of Edward's statement was particularly significant. It came during a period of transition for the monarchy, with King Charles seeking to redefine its purpose and relevance in the 21st century. Camilla's role as queen consort is central to this vision, and Edward's comments appeared to align with the broader message of unity and progress that Charles has worked to promote. By publicly acknowledging Camilla's contributions, Edward not only reinforced the importance of cohesion within the family, but also signaled his support for Charles's vision. For the British public, Edward's words provided a new lens through which to view Camilla. While opinions about her have softened over the years, her early reputation as the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage still lingers for some. Edward's statement, coming from someone with no history of controversy or scandal, added weight to her growing acceptance. It wasn't just an endorsement. It was a subtle reminder that Camilla's position within the family had been earned through years of dedication and service. The media, always eager to dissect royal statements, seized upon Edward's comments as a key moment in the monarchy's ongoing evolution. Headlines framed his words as a rare glimpse into the inner workings of the family, while commentators speculated on the motivations behind his uncharacteristic candor. Was this a calculated move to bolster Camilla's public image, or was it simply an honest expression of Edward's personal admiration? The ambiguity only fueled further discussion, with interpretations varying widely depending on one's perspective. While the public reaction to Edward's remarks was largely positive, it also sparked debates about the monarchy's approach to public relations. Some praised the statement as a refreshing display of transparency, a sign that the royal family is willing to address its internal dynamics more openly. Others questioned whether such statements risk undermining the monarchy's traditional image of stoic unity, where personal opinions are often kept behind closed doors. Regardless of the differing viewpoints, one thing was clear: Edward's words had struck a chord. What made this moment so compelling wasn't just the content of the message, but the context surrounding it. Edward, often described as the quiet royal, had stepped into the spotlight in a way that few expected. His ability to navigate the complexities of royal life without drawing unnecessary attention had long been one of his defining traits. And yet, when he chose to speak, his voice carried a weight that belied his usually understated presence. As discussions about Edward's statement continued, attention shifted to what it might mean for his role within the royal family. For much of his life, Edward has operated on the periphery, content to fulfill his duties without seeking the limelight. But his recent comments suggest a willingness to engage more directly with the public and offer his perspective on key issues. This shift, while subtle, could signal a broader evolution in how Edward approaches his responsibilities as a senior royal. The resonance of Prince Edward's statement about Camilla was not just felt within the royal family. Its ripples extended far and wide, sparking curiosity, admiration, and, inevitably, scrutiny. For someone who has largely avoided public controversies and dramatic declarations, Edward's willingness to speak openly was a moment that turned heads. As the conversation surrounding his comments gained momentum, questions arose about what had prompted him to make such a statement and what it revealed about the evolving dynamics within the House of Windsor. To fully appreciate the significance of this moment, it's important to consider the context in which it occurred. The monarchy has always been an institution steeped in tradition, often resistant to change. However, in recent years, King Charles III has sought to redefine what it means to be royal, embracing a leaner, more modern approach that aligns with the public's changing expectations. This shift has required careful navigation, balancing centuries of history with the need for relevance in the 21st century. Camilla's position as Queen Consort is central to this reimagining of the monarchy. Her journey from being one of the most polarizing figures in royal history to a respected member of the family is a testament to perseverance and adaptability. By publicly acknowledging her role and contributions, Edward wasn't just offering personal support, he was reinforcing the monarchy's broader narrative of unity and progress. His words came across as a carefully considered gesture, one that underscored the importance of presenting a cohesive front during a time of significant transition. The public response to Edward's statement was both swift and varied. For many, it was refreshing to see a senior royal speak with such authenticity. Edward's reputation as a measured and thoughtful individual lent credibility to his remarks, and his praise for Camilla was interpreted as a genuine expression of respect rather than a rehearsed line of public relations. This authenticity resonated with a public increasingly attuned to the nuances of royal communication, where every word is often dissected for hidden meaning. However, not all reactions were positive. A vocal minority questioned whether Edward's comments were an attempt to bolster Camilla's image at a time when some still held reservations about her role. These critics suggested that his statement might have been part of a broader strategy orchestrated by the royal family to strengthen public support for the Queen Consort. While there was no concrete evidence to support these claims, they added an element of intrigue to an already compelling narrative. The media, predictably, played a significant role in amplifying the moment. Headlines ranged from celebratory to skeptical, with commentators debating the implications of Edward's remarks. Some viewed his statement as a sign of the monarchy's willingness to embrace transparency, a departure from the traditional stoicism that has long defined the family. Others argued that it blurred the lines between personal opinion and official duty, raising questions about the balance between individual expression and institutional responsibility. For Edward, this moment represented a rare departure from his usual low-profile approach to royal life. While he has always been a reliable and dutiful member of the family, his contributions have often been overshadowed by the more dramatic exploits of his siblings and nephews. By speaking out, Edward reminded the public of his unique perspective and his ability to navigate the complexities of royal life with a sense of quiet authority. What makes Edward's statement even more intriguing is the subtlety with which it was delivered. There were no grand gestures, no dramatic proclamations, just a measured acknowledgement of Camilla's contributions and her importance within the monarchy. This understated approach was quintessentially Edward, reflecting his preference for thoughtful action over flashy displays. It was this very quality that made his words so impactful, cutting through the noise and leaving a lasting impression. As the days passed, the focus began to shift from Edward's statement itself to its broader implications. What did his remarks say about the current state of the royal family? Was this a sign of increased unity, a deliberate effort to present a more cohesive image to the public? Or was it simply a personal expression of support, devoid of any larger strategic purpose? These questions lingered, fueling further speculation and analysis. Within the royal family, Edward's comments were likely met with a mix of reactions. For King Charles III, they would have been a welcome gesture of solidarity, aligning with his vision of a united and modernized monarchy. Camilla, too, would have appreciated the endorsement, particularly from someone as measured and respected as Edward. But for others, the statement might have raised eyebrows, challenging the long-standing tradition of royal discretion. The timing of Edward's remarks also added an element of intrigue. Delivered during a period of intense public scrutiny of the monarchy, they came across as a well-timed effort to shift the narrative in a positive direction. Whether intentional or not, the statement succeeded in drawing attention to the quieter, more steadfast members of the royal family, offering a contrast to the high-profile controversies that have often dominated headlines. What stands out most about this moment is the way it encapsulates Edward's unique role within the royal family. He is not the heir, nor is he the outspoken disruptor. Instead, he occupies a space somewhere in between, a figure of quiet consistency who steps into the spotlight only when he feels it is necessary. This balance has allowed him to maintain his credibility and avoid many of the pitfalls that have ensnared other royals. As the public continues to debate the significance of Edward's statement, one thing is clear. It has reinforced his reputation as a thoughtful and measured voice within the monarchy. His ability to navigate complex issues with grace and subtlety is a reminder of the value of restraint in a world often dominated by noise and spectacle. And in doing so, Edward has once again proven that sometimes the quietest voices can leave the strongest impact. The immediate aftermath of Prince Edward's statement about Camilla revealed just how much weight his words carried, both within the royal family and in the eyes of the public. For a figure who has so carefully avoided unnecessary attention throughout his life, Edward's decision to speak out created a ripple effect, sparking a wave of reactions that ranged from admiration to skepticism. As the dust began to settle, it became clear that this moment was more than just a fleeting headline. It was a reflection of deeper shifts within the monarchy itself. In the days following Edward's comments, the public response showcased the complexity of Camilla's position as Queen Consort. While many had come to respect her resilience and dedication over the years, lingering doubts about her past remained for some. Edward's remarks, however, appeared to bridge the gap between skepticism and acceptance, offering a perspective that felt refreshingly authentic. He didn't just highlight Camilla's contributions, he humanized her, acknowledging the challenges she had faced and the strength with which she had overcome them. It was a rare personal insight into a family that so often guards its emotions behind a wall of tradition and protocol. The media played a significant role in amplifying the impact of Edward's statement. News outlets dissected his words, drawing attention to their timing and speculating on their broader implications. For a family accustomed to the relentless scrutiny of the press, this level of focus was nothing new. Yet, what made this moment stand out was the narrative it created. A story of unity and mutual respect within a monarchy often perceived as fractured. Edward's measured tone and thoughtful delivery stood in stark contrast to the more contentious public narratives that have surrounded other members of the family in recent years. As discussions about Edward's comments gained momentum, they also shone a spotlight on his role within the royal family. For decades, Edward has been something of an enigma. A senior royal whose actions rarely dominate headlines but whose contributions remain steady and significant. His decision to speak up about Camilla was not just a departure from his usual low-key approach, it was a reminder of the influence he wields, even from the background. In a family where public perception can often be shaped by the loudest voices, Edward's quiet authority carried a unique power. The statement also raised questions about Edward's evolving role in King Charles III's vision for a modern monarchy. Over the years, Charles has made it clear that he envisions a streamlined royal family, one that focuses on its core members and reduces the burden on the taxpayer. Edward, with his reputation for reliability and discretion, fits neatly into this vision. His comments about Camilla aligned seamlessly with Charles's broader efforts to project unity and progress, suggesting that Edward's role within the monarchy may be more significant than many realize. But while the public response was largely positive, there were, as always, critics. Some questioned whether Edward's comments were part of a carefully coordinated effort to rehabilitate Camilla's image, particularly among those who still viewed her through the lens of past controversies. Others argued that his decision to speak out blurred the lines between personal sentiment and public duty, raising concerns about the monarchy's ability to maintain its traditional air of impartiality. These critiques, though vocal, were ultimately overshadowed by the widespread admiration for Edward's thoughtful approach. Within the royal family, Edward's remarks likely resonated in different ways. For King Charles III, they would have been a welcome gesture of support, reinforcing his efforts to strengthen the family's public image. Camilla, too, would have found reassurance in Edward's endorsement, particularly given his reputation as a steady and trustworthy presence within the family. For other members of the family, however, his decision to speak out might have been viewed with some degree of caution. The royal family has long adhered to the principle of saying little and doing much, a philosophy that Edward's statement, while well received, subtly challenged. What made Edward's comments particularly impactful was their ability to transcend the immediate moment. They weren't just about Camilla or even the monarchy's present state, they were a reflection of its future. At a time when public trust in the institution has been tested by scandals and shifting societal values, Edward's words offered a glimpse of a monarchy that is capable of adapting without losing its essence. His statement was both a reaffirmation of tradition and an acknowledgement of change, a delicate balance that few royals have managed to achieve. The conversation around Edward's statement also sparked a broader discussion about the monarchy's role in the modern world. As an institution rooted in centuries of history, it has always faced the challenge of remaining relevant in an ever-changing society. King Charles III's efforts to modernize the monarchy have been met with both praise and criticism, with some viewing them as necessary evolutions and others as departures from cherished traditions. Edward's comments in many ways encapsulated this tension, highlighting the monarchy's ability to honor its past while embracing a more progressive future. For Edward, this moment was a reminder of the power of authenticity. In a world where public figures are often accused of being out of touch, his ability to speak with sincerity and thoughtfulness resonated deeply. It was a testament to the value of measured action, a quality that has defined his approach to royal life. And as the public continues to reflect on his remarks, one thing remains clear. Edward's words have left a lasting impression, not just on the perception of Camilla, but on the monarchy as a whole. As the conversations around Prince Edward's statement about Camilla continued to unfold, it became evident that this was more than just a fleeting moment of royal commentary. It symbolized something deeper, a reflection of the monarchy's ability to evolve in the face of changing times and public expectations. While Edward's remarks may have initially seemed like a simple acknowledgement of Camilla's contributions, their implications reached far beyond the immediate reactions, hinting at a subtle but meaningful shift within the royal family. Edward's words about Camilla weren't just about her role as queen consort, they also carried a broader message about the importance of unity within the monarchy. Over the years, the family has faced its share of challenges, from scandals to shifting public sentiment. Through it all, the narrative of solidarity has remained a cornerstone of its public image, even when tensions have occasionally bubbled beneath the surface. By openly expressing his respect for Camilla, Edward reinforced this narrative, presenting a united front at a time when cohesion within the family is more critical than ever. The long-term impact of Edward's statement is intertwined with King Charles III's vision for the monarchy. Charles has made it clear that he sees the future of the institution as one of efficiency and relevance, focusing on its core members and adapting to modern expectations. Edward's comments fit seamlessly into this vision, highlighting his ability to align with the broader goals of the family while maintaining his own unique voice. His remarks underscored the idea that the monarchy, while steeped in tradition, is not immune to growth and change, a message that resonates strongly in today's fast-evolving world. Public reactions to Edward's statement continued to shape its legacy in the weeks and months that followed. Many saw his comments as a refreshing display of honesty, a break from the often guarded and rehearsed tone associated with royal communications. His willingness to speak openly, even briefly, added a layer of authenticity that is increasingly valued by a public that craves transparency from its leaders. Edward's words stood out not just for their content, but for their tone, striking a balance between reverence for tradition and recognition of progress. For Camilla, the impact of Edward's remarks was particularly significant. As someone who has spent much of her life navigating the complexities of public opinion, this gesture of support from a respected member of the family was a powerful affirmation. It wasn't just about strengthening her position within the family, it was also about reinforcing her evolving role as a symbol of the monarchy's ability to adapt and endure. Edward's words lent her story an added layer of credibility, reminding the public that even within the royal family, respect is earned through dedication and resilience. The statement also highlighted Edward's ability to navigate the complexities of his role with grace and subtlety. While he has never been one to seek the spotlight, moments like this reveal his capacity to wield influence in ways that are both understated and impactful. It's a quality that sets him apart from other members of the family and has allowed him to maintain a reputation of reliability and integrity. Edward's approach to royal life is a reminder that sometimes the most effective contributions come not from grand gestures, but from quiet, thoughtful actions. As the monarchy looks to the future, Edward's role may become increasingly significant. His ability to bridge the gap between tradition and modernity positions him as a key figure in King Charles's streamlined vision for the family. Whether through his public statements or his continued dedication to charitable work, Edward's contributions are a testament to the enduring value of consistency and commitment. In an institution often defined by its larger-than-life personalities, Edward's steady presence offers a sense of balance and stability. Looking ahead, the ripples of Edward's statement about Camilla are likely to continue influencing public perceptions of the monarchy. At a time when the institution faces mounting scrutiny and evolving societal expectations, moments of authenticity like this are crucial in shaping its narrative. Edward's ability to articulate a message that resonates with both the public and the family underscores the importance of finding common ground in an increasingly divided world. His words, while simple, carried a depth that spoke to the heart of what the monarchy represents, a blend of history, duty, and the capacity for renewal. Edward's statement also served as a reminder of the power of words within the context of royal life. In a family where silence and discretion are often the default, the decision to speak carries immense weight. By choosing his moment carefully, Edward ensured that his remarks would be remembered not just as a fleeting comment, but as a meaningful contribution to the ongoing evolution of the monarchy. It was a moment that reaffirmed the value of thoughtful, measured leadership, setting an example for future generations of royals. As the public continues to reflect on Edward's comments, their significance becomes increasingly clear. This was not just a statement about Camilla or even the current state of the monarchy. It was a reflection of the family's ability to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. Edward's words reminded everyone that the monarchy is more than just an institution. It is a living, evolving entity, shaped by the people who dedicate their lives to its service. And in this moment, Edward's dedication was evident, not through grand declarations or dramatic gestures, but through the quiet power of his authenticity. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.